With Election Day less than a month away now, I cannot believe it. We wanted to spend some time checking in on the campaign of your Republican nominee for mayor, Fort Wayne City Councilman Tom Didier, and he's joining us live right now. Hey there, Tom.
Kayla, how are you?
I am doing well. I think the better question is, how's it going for you?
Well, you know, as the salesman in me is, it says, let's get fired up. So I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, that sounds like the cheerleader in me for sure, Tom. You know, we've had you on a few times before. So for folks interested in getting to know you and your campaign better, I would recommend that they go listen to some of those interviews on our podcast page at WOWO.com, because today I want to talk about this discussion that you and incumbent Tom Henry recently attended together at the Turner Chapel AME Church about a week ago. This wasn't technically a debate, right?
No, it wasn't a debate. It was more of a question and answer. They were wanting to know, you know, what were you going to do for, you know, the city of Fort Wayne? And you know, and from my perspective, you know, they were definitely wanting to understand what we were going to do for the southeast portion of Fort Wayne. But they did want to know what the whole city encompassed. And I gave them, you know, a bold, you know, answer in every category that they asked me about, because I told them the southeast portion of Fort Wayne, it's a diamond in the rough. There's so many things that can happen in the southeast portion of Fort Wayne that are good for the city. I mean, as a whole. I mean, my father's stores were all on the south end of Fort Wayne. So I think that, you know, we just have to have a salesperson that's going to give the energy and the drive to what needs to happen there. And I want to collaborate with, you know, Sharon Tucker, and I want to collaborate with the rest of the city council to make things come to fruition throughout the whole city, but especially help the southeast portion of Fort Wayne. That was what that was all about. So I felt good.
Yeah, good. You know, I read a lot about it afterwards, and I agree with you. It seems like diversity and the southeastern quadrant of Fort Wayne were kind of the big topics there. A topic that keeps popping up on my radar, specifically from my listeners, Tom, is about affordable housing options. You know, for older adults. My mother-in-law, she's one of these individuals right now. She lives on a fixed income, and it's darn near impossible for her to find something suitable in terms of housing at her age and at her income level. Any thoughts on how to make housing affordable for older Fort Wayne residents?
Yeah, and that was one thing that was, you know, brought up, you know, overall. Everyone needs affordable housing. I mean, because of what has happened with the inflation in the whole country, you know, it's happened here, and we're feeling the pinch because, well, we're not building enough homes. So one thing that I brought up that I think has resonated with many of the builders in Fort Wayne is our permitting process still takes too long. And we have to have a better process put in place, and that's something that, you know, because it's the Allen County portion of it, because we gave our portion back to them, we need to work with the county and say, hey, look, this is what we need to do to make this a better process so that we can get more homes built and get them done in a much faster much faster pace. That's something that we really, really need to have happen. And, you know, even Mayor Henry agreed with me. So I look at it from that perspective, that this is just one caveat of what we need to get moving. But we have to take a different type of approach to it. You know, they are building more homes in Fort Wayne. We're building some of the north portion of Fort Wayne. I voted on that this past year on North Clinton. It was last year. And then we voted on the one in the south portion of Fort Wayne, you know, off of Hessen Castle. So they're coming, but there is so much land available in Fort Wayne. People don't think there is, but there is land available to build homes. We just have to make sure that we're not voting things down. There was apartment complexes over the course of the last couple of years that we've had some, you know, issues with people not wanting an apartment complex next to their residency. But these apartment complexes are needing to come in to play because not everybody can afford a home.
Right.
So they might have to rent. And so, but we have to make the rent affordable for people. And those are things that, you know, you have to have the need to discuss that with the council and say, hey, look, this is what we need to have happen. I try not to vote those things down now. And I think that's things that we have to really push forward. to the future.
Yeah, and I think I speak for a big majority of our listeners when they're glad to hear that's at least on your radar, Tom. Really quick, completely different topic of conversation. Someone walked out to me the other day and said, "Hey, did you hear Didier got an endorsement by law enforcement?" And I said, "No, what, when, where?" So what is this, Tom?
So the FOP Lodge 12, which is the oldest lodge in the state of Indiana, they endorsed me, and I think the thing is what they're looking at is they're wanting to see someone that's going to change the direction of the police department. Not that they're not doing a wonderful job now, but I want to try and take a different format of how we go about policing, and that's where you're going to put the person in charge of which would be the chief, and I'm going to pick a new chief, and I'm going to make my announcement probably next week on who that person's going to be. So I want people to understand that the reason I'm picking this person is because I want this person to take a bold, execute the ideas of what we need to have happen in that particular area, because people want to feel safe.
Yeah.
Kayla.
Yes, they do.
They want to feel that our community is doing what we need to do. When you have situations like we had at Glenbrook, which is in my district, and it happened a couple times, we want to make sure that what are we doing as a police department to make sure that we're going to keep people feeling like, okay, this is a very safe city, which personally I believe it is in a lot of ways, but there are things that you can do to make it even better.
Yeah, can always improve. I can't wait to hear who you would name next week, so definitely keep us in the loop on that. Tom, thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome, Kayla. Thank you, and have a great day.
Hey, you too. That's your Republican nominee for mayor of Fort Wayne, Tom Didier, joining us here on WOWO. Don't you forget it, Election Day coming up November 7th.
Podcasts by Federated Media.